Hi, Mark Gilbert here. Thanks for clicking in. This particular video is entitled Your Thinking and Finances, and like all the videos in this channel, they're designed to give you some tools and ideas for assisting with our spiritual evolution. This video continues our series where we're looking at the Ernest Holmes book, The Basic Ideas of Science of Mind. Each and every one of the videos stands alone in and of themselves. So you can watch this video and get some good tips and ideas for how to grow your prosperity and abundance in your life. But if you look at all of the videos in the series, you're going to get a good orientation to the basic teachings of the philosophy of the science of mind. In this particular chapter, where Holmes discusses finances, he makes four key critical points that we're going to look at briefly. The first one is he calls us to develop an awareness or consciousness of abundance. That is, to know that we live in a universe of oneness and abundance and that life is readily there for us. The second point he makes is that he calls us to be of service and of giving, that it is a critical aspect to the development of our abundance that we do so. The third is he offers us a nice test to ask ourselves if what we're doing or what we're about to spend in terms of money is a good thing to do or not. And the fourth is he calls us to develop our unique talents and abilities, and that when we do so, it grows prosperity in our lives. So that's where we're going for the next few minutes. So in terms of recognizing that we live in an abundant universe that's available for us at all times and in all ways, Holmes uses a quick story where he says, what if somebody deposited some money in your bank account and told you that they put it there, yet you didn't believe it or ever tap into it? Now, accounting for inflation in his book, he says, what if somebody put $1,000 in your bank account? But I'd ask you to consider in this moment, what if somebody put $1 million in your bank account? How would that change what you did in the world? How would that change how you show up in the world? You know, it shifts our consciousness when we know that we have funding continuously available to us, and as opposed to when we think that life is limited and the universe is limited. He's asking us to shift our awareness to knowing that this world is for us and that the gifts that it brings to every person are available to us as individuals. What would you do if you had $1 million in your bank account? How would that change how you show up and what you do? He's really asking us to consider shifting how we look at life so that we come through life with a sense of that abundance is there for us to tap into at all times. If we can change our thinking about knowing that this universe is for us and that the abundant gifts that it can provide are there for us, just like $1 million in our bank, then we can start developing that consciousness of abundance and prosperity that is going to lead to financial freedom and financial abundance for us. The second point Holmes makes in this short chapter is that he calls us to be of service. He recognizes that when we come into developing our consciousness and we see the universe's gifts available for us, if we do that from a selfish standpoint, where we think that we're going to get and get and get, and grab from the universe and all its gifts for us, that blocks a divine flow of the universe. So he calls us to recognize that we are in an ever-giving flow. Yes, the universe is giving to us, but we're here to give of ourselves, to give through our time, our talents, our treasures, to give of our abilities. And so in this sense, we need to recognize that we're not blocking the flow of the goodness of the universe, but that we're a conduit for it to flow through us. You are here for the universe to give its gifts to you, and for you to pass those gifts on to the rest of the universe. If you block the energetic flow of the universe, you're stagnating the gifts and you're limiting your prosperity. Here's how Holmes writes that. He says that it is positively necessary that you should be expressing yourself in some kind of worthy endeavor, because life is action and you must be creative in some respect. You may be greatly surprised to find that kind, generous, free service may be just the thing to set in motion the activities which will result in the position you need, the increased business, or your desired good. The same is true in regard to the giving of money. When you intelligently and generously give from what you have for the good of others, you may depend upon that there will be a spiritual response, and concrete good will come rushing back to fill that empty space. It's a shift in your awareness. It's not about gaining. It's about receiving and then giving and keeping the flow of the universe divinely moving. However, Holmes gives us a caveat in regards to the giving of money, the spending of money. There is a trap that we can fall into, and he asks us to really shift our consciousness around the giving and spending of money. To that end, he writes, "Whether your funds be great or small, you need to get all possible pleasure and satisfaction out of them. This cannot be the case if you're fearful about spending. If you are to be rich in concrete ways, you must first be rich in consciousness and have the feeling of abundance. Common sense will guide your expenditures at all times, but get all of the happiness and satisfaction you can out of every dollar you spend." He goes on to say, "Never, never hand over your money to payment for anything grudgingly." He adds, "The habit of silently blessing your money as you hand it over is worth cultivating." And in fact, this brings me to the third key point that I got from this particular chapter. And that's a test that you can develop in the spending of money. Is it right for you? You know, it's real easy to fall into a trap of saying the universe is going to provide for me abundantly and to just spend without any regards to, the realities of your particular circumstances, that you need to open yourself to a broader and broader receiving before you can broadly give. And if you give too quickly without your consciousness of receiving being appropriate, then you could spend yourself into debt. And there's also a question about what's the proper way to spend your money. Holmes talks, just as I read, about the fact that we need to not begrudgingly give our money, but to be blessing our money as it flows through us. So the question then becomes, if we're spending money in a particular moment, how do we know we're spending money correctly? And to that point, Holmes gives us some of the best advice. He says, you may wish very much to use money for some particular purpose, but wonder if it's right to do so. Am I selfish in using my money for this? Use this test. Use this test, he says. Will it be of value to me? And because of it, will I be of greater help, inspiration, encouragement, or practical help to others? If so, it's right. Let me read that again. Will it be of value to me? And because of it, will I be of greater help, inspiration, encouragement, or practical help to others? If so, it's right. If through me a greater good can come to others, then this will be money wisely spent. The key point here is, are you doing it from a consciousness of greed and wanting to gather for yourself, or are you becoming a recognized force for good for the universe and recognizing that the good is flowing through that you want to give back? When you are developing the right prosperity consciousness, you let go of the sense of the universe is providing for you for your individual need, and you recognize that you're part of a greater and grander oneness. Hence, you want to have the money that you spend be spent for the greater good. Is what you're doing of benefit to you, and is it benefiting the greater good? If it's only benefiting you and then it's done from a selfish standpoint, then it's probably not the best use of your resources. And this brings us to our fourth point, which is Holmes is inviting us to recognize that we have a unique and special talent that we're to give here in this universe. What is your talent? Have you identified what your gifts are? You might check out the description in the notes below for this video, because I've got some other videos that get into the topic of recognizing your unique talents and gifts that you might want to check out. But Holmes is really encouraging us in the development of a prosperity consciousness, that we identify what our gifts and talents are. He says, and I agree with him, that we are born onto this planet with some unique talent that's called forth to be expressed. When we block our talents, we block our good. So as part of our prosperity is a recognition of the need that we need to find out what our specific talents are. I have no doubt you have some clues about it already, or may even have clarity about it. But once you've identified that, then you want to give your talent to the world. This is not about becoming rich just for wealth's sake. It's about recognizing that you are part of a divine flow in this universe, and that your talents are a part of that flow. Your giving of your creative abilities, your creative expression, is developing the greatest and highest expression of the one, of the divine, of the entire universe. So what does this video and Holmes' chapter on finances tell us about developing wealth and financial abundance in our individual lives? Well, first, we need to remember that we're part of a universe of oneness that continuously gives to us, that we have a bank account through this universe that we can draw upon continuously to provide for us. Secondly, we need to recognize that we are not receiving simply to hoard, but that we're part of a divine circulation, so that whatever goodness and wealth flows our way, we continuously keep the gift moving through the universe by allowing ourselves to give of our time and our treasures to others. Third, we need to recognize that we were born with special talents and abilities, and the degree that we can recognize them and give our talents back to this universe in a continuous flow, that it's only going to naturally lead to the development of financial prosperity and wealth for us. And finally, there is a test that Holmes asks us to consider, that as we are spending and giving and doing in this life, we need to continuously ask, am I benefiting, and is the greater good benefiting? If we can recognize that we are here not only for our own financial abundance and our own financial prosperity, and our prosperity in all ways, but that we're also here as part of a divine flow who is to give to the one, the more we can uplift this planet through what we do, the greater we're going to feel a sense of prosperity and wealth. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. There's a similar video right here next to my face if you want to click on it. Also, if you want to get notifications of future videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button on the bottom left-hand corner. If you'd like to contact me, email me at the address on the screen or drop me a comment in the comment field below on YouTube. Thanks.